is better known as the shall undergo upgrading to make it financially dependable for accurate and enlightening news and community. Radyo ng Bayan will be integrated with ABC to observe editorial independence for innovative programs and intelligent treatment for analysis reports, development of national and international significance. As we are presently setting up a presidential communication satellite office in Davao, BBC will also put up broadcast hubs in the
Bayang matiliw, nawalan alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, bata ng magiting, sa manlulupit, sa Pasipik, sa dagat at bundok, sa simula, sa langit, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y pag-utay na nalilinig. Ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may dimang lupa ng araw ng malapit pagsinta. Langit sa piling ang bilis hanapan may malapit.
The time now is 0200 UTC. Please stand by for our broadcast. This is the English service of Radio Pilipinas of the Philippine Broadcasting Service. Shortwave frequency 50.640 megahertz, 17.820 megahertz, and 12.010 megahertz. From Manila, Philippines, this is Radio Pilipinas, the voice of the Philippines. PBS, 70 years of broadcast heritage. 70 years of broadcasting. 7 decades of responsible news and information research. 70 years of dedicated public service to the Filipino nation. This is your Philippine Broadcasting Service. Looking at the challenges of modern times. From Presidential Palace, Manila. Dateline.
This is Dateline, Malacanang. On the top story, Philippine Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokna said Friday that Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is going to submit the proposed 2018 national budget to Congress on July 24th, the day he delivers his second State of the Nation address or SONA. Secretary Jokno announced this during the Mindanao Hour press briefing at the Palace. The palace official said this is the first time in history that a president submits the budget on the day of the SONA itself. The proposed budget for next year is 12.4% higher than the 3.35 trillion Philippine peso budget for 2017 and represents 21.6% of the gross domestic product or GDP.
2018 proposed national budget. So that why are we doing this early? This is the first time that the president plans to submit the budget on the day of the SONA itself. So that's the first time in Philippine history. Okay, so we're doing this so we can have an early start for 2018. So the 2018 proposed national budget, we proposed and the president approved, has a total of 3.767 trillion. With the biggest allocation going to education and infrastructure development. Now this budget is consistent with President Duterte's build program to usher in the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines. And his desire to develop the Filipino youth into an agile, competent workforce for the future.
The budget official expressed confidence that tax reform package bill pending in Congress would be approved before the end of the year. Revenues generated from the comprehensive tax reform package bill is among the major sources of funds for the Build program. The tax bill has been passed by the House of Representatives and is now pending at the Senate.
We're confident that the tax reform package that Secretary Dominguez mentioned will be approved before the end of the year. We're talking of 2018, so we're confident that it will be pushed. It will be approved by both houses of Congress. It has already been approved by the House. So it's a priority measure, and I think that's one of the content of the President's SONA, to appeal to the Senate to approve this bill. Because it's not only fair, I think we need it if we want to be competitive. And if we want to give 99% of Filipinos a break, because this tax program, the tax system that we have has not been adjusted since Ramos year. Some are negative, I'm positive. I think it will be pushed. It will be approved.
Also, the budget chief said that part of the 2018 budget is a 10 billion Philippine peso allocation for the rehabilitation of Marawi. Although President Duterte has said that 20 billion Philippine peso would be earmarked for the eventual rehabilitation of the war-torn city in Mindanao, Jokno clarified that the rehabilitation process is a multi-year undertaking. He said the BBM had already identified around 5 billion Philippine peso from the 2017 budget for the Marawi Rehabilitation Fund, bringing the total available fund to 15 billion Philippine peso by 2018. He added that the allocated funds exclude the foreign aid.
The Marawi Recovery and Rehabilitation Program. So let me explain our position on this issue. Okay? First, financing follows the plan. Okay? We cannot talk of a number unless we have a plan. What is the plan? Okay? So financing follows the plan. Second, the rebuilding of Marawi will be a multi-year task. It cannot be done in a few months or 1 year. So we're talking of a multi-year effort. And in fact, there is a task force created to prepare such a plan. Now, third, the process is well defined. You have to planning, then budgeting, then implementation, then accountability. Why is accountability important? Well, we learned our lessons from the Yolanda incident. The Filipino people should know how the money was spent. Okay? Now, for the rest of the year, just to tell you, from August to December, that's 5 months, I have already identified some 5 billion pesos, okay, for the Marawi restoration. So it's a standby money there, okay? We'll get it from the NDREAM, that's the National Disaster Risk and Management Fund, and then also there's part from the contingent fund, and there are existing budgets of some related agencies such as DOH, DSWD, DepEd, DA, DPWH, DOTR, and TECNA, and others. In fact, at this time, there are some offers from foreign grants from, say, the World Bank and the ADB. So that can also be found. So either multilaterals or bilaterals. So there are some countries that are also willing to help. So that's this year, 2017. Now in 2018, there's a 10 billion already set aside for the Marawi Recovery and Rehabilitation Program. So next year, the NDREAM Fund, that's the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund, will have a 25.5 billion allocation for 2018, of which 10 billion is set aside
there are already 45 civilians killed by terrorists. There are 1,723 civilians rescued by government troops, LGUs and CSOs, 394 terrorists killed, 93 government casualties, and 48 buildings cleared as of Thursday, July 13th. The palace official said 600 of the 1,500 to 2,000 buildings and structures in Marawi have yet inspected and cleared of terrorists. Abella said clearing operations are progressing positively. He added that there are still 80 terrorists holed up in 4 barangays or villages with heavy resistance monitored in 2 villages.
Just to round up this week's report regarding the rebellion in Marawi, as of 7 p.m. July 13th. Civilians killed by terrorists, 45. This count is based on body recoveries, but as we go deeper into the contested areas, we expect the numbers to rise. It may rise based on potential execution of hostages or the civilians killed in action. Civilians rescued by government troops, LGU, CSO, 1,723. Terrorists killed, 394. Recovered high-powered firearms from terrorists, 488. Government casualties, 93. Buildings cleared as of yesterday was 48. Recovery of significant developments. Recovery of 6 cadavers remains with orange guard believed to have been executed by terrorists. 2, clearing operations of buildings progressing positively. And as of 13th of July, 43 have been cleared. 53 and 54 previously respectively in previous days. More or less 600 buildings remain to be cleared, 1,500 to 2,000 buildings, total facilities to be cleared at the beginning of the conflict.
In the same press briefing, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, said it might not be able to wrap up its operations in Marawi City before the 60-day martial law lapses on July 22nd, or 2 days before President Duterte's State of the Nation Address, or SONA. This is according to military spokesman Brigadier General Restituto Padilla. Padilla said the AFP is readying its assessment report that President Duterte would likely use as basis for any decision to request for martial law extension. Padilla refused to comment when asked if the AFP would seek an extension of martial law.
We are right into the 10 to 15 days of the president. But the 10 to 15 days is beyond the SONA, by the way. So don't expect it to be before the SONA.
Yes. Expiration po sila 60 days sa martial law is on Saturday. So, ilang araw lang. So, we go beyond the 60 days sa martial law.
Yeah, the assessment is actually based on the operational imperatives that were given to us at the beginning of the declaration. So, whether we have achieved or accomplished those operational imperatives is the gist of the assessment.
Would it be safe to say that we ask for an extension or you would recommend an extension?
I cannot go beyond what I just said because the recommendation primarily is not yet done. And it is the decision of the leadership that will be the basis. So whatever they decide on, for how long it will be extended, if it's extended or if it's lifted, forces will just continue.
Finally, for Dateline Malacanang announced on Friday that President Rodrigo Duterte is hoping that justice will finally be served to the 44 Special Action Force or PNP police commandos who were slain in the Mama Sapano massacre. Philippine presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella said in a statement that the president recognizes the heroic sacrifice of the Philippine National Police Special Action Force 44, and it is his and the nation's hope to finally bring justice to the victims and families of the fallen 44 and put closure to the issue as part of the healing process. Abella added that the palace respects the Ombudsman's constitutional mandate to investigate public officials. The palace official made the statements after Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales ordered the filing of criminal charges against former President Benigno Aquino III in connection with the January 2015 tragedy. Aquino was criminally charged for usurpation of authority, Article 177 of the Revised Penal Code, and violation of Section 3A of the Anti-Graft and Corruption Practices Act, or Republic Act Number 3019. Standing as his co-conspirators are former Philippine National Police or PNP Director General Alan Purisima and Director Emilio Napeñas of the SAP. On January 24, 2015, almost 400 highly trained SAP commandos launched Oplan exodus to serve standing warrants of arrest against internationally wanted terrorists Zulkifli bin Hir, alias Marwan, and Ahmad Ahmad Uson in Mamasapano, Maguindanao. The ensuing firefight that lasted for several hours, 44 SAF troopers died in the line of duty. In the aftermath, Aquino was widely criticized for allowing suspended PNP Chief Purisima not only to participate in the planning, but also in the running of said operation and for breaking the chain of command, among others. In the investigation, Morales noted that President Aquino was fully aware that the Office of the Ombudsman had placed Purisima under preventive suspension during the planning and actual conduct of the operation. And that concludes the Saturday edition of Dateline Malacanang for Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide. I am Bea Gaza.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacanang.
While President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is in Russia for an official visit, he declared martial law in Mindanao on May 23. A series of attacks from terrorists and extremists occurred in the island. The areas of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi are included in the declaration. To find out the situation in Mindanao, the president has cut short his visit in Russia.
That was of 10 p.m. Manila time. He has already declared martial law for the entire island of Mindanao.
After martial law has been declared, within 48 hours, the president needs to submit a report in Congress, either personal or written. It is stated in our Constitution that martial law and the suspension of writ of habeas corpus is effective only within 60 days. The extension is up to the Congress decision. Martial law can be negated by the majority of votes in Congress. The Supreme Court can also question and decide on the declaration of martial law within 30 days. President Duterte's declaration of martial law in Mindanao aims to protect the residents who are being ruthlessly killed by local terrorists. The proclamation of martial law in Mindanao also aims to eliminate the fear of the Filipinos that the chaos in Mindanao is spreading throughout the country.
This is Radyo Pilipinas, the overseas service of the Philippine Broadcasting Service. PBS, Radyo Pilipinas, reaching you from Manila. Philippine Trivia. The best that Filipinos and the Philippines could offer. Here on the Radyo Pilipinas Overseas. Philippine Trivia.
The 900 square meter relief map of Mindanao in Dapitan City
was personally drawn by Dr. Jose Rizal. It was used as a device in teaching history and geography to townsfolk. The altar of the Holy Rosary Cathedral in Dipolog City was designed by Dr. Rizal. The cathedral was erected by the Spanish friars sometime in 1859, before Dipolog City became a municipality. The Rizal Shrine in Dapitan City is the original estate of Dr. Jose Rizal. He acquired it by purchase during his exile in Dapitan from 1892 to 1896.
You just heard Philippines, the best that Filipinos and the Philippines could offer over Radyo Pilipinas Overseas.
Learn the Filipino language at Radyo Pilipinas presents School on Air will teach you the basic phrases, words, greetings, and conversations in Filipino. School on Air, over here at Radyo Pilipinas.
Today we will talk about the Filipino words po and opo. Po and opo are mentioned to show and express respect for people who are older, or even to people you are familiar with. Opo means yes, that is the more respectful and formal expression than its word of origin, which is oo. Po, on the other hand, is used as a suffix word that is commonly put right next to a verb or a noun. Filipino parents teach and train their kids to be courteous and respectful towards the elderly at a very young age. In this manner, they include po and opo in their sentences. As they become older, they get accustomed to it and thus become a part of their daily lives as polite and educated Filipinos. We've learned another Filipino phrase all here on School on Air. This has been Edwin Santos saying bye for now and take care.
We have just brought you School on Air. School on Air, over here at Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas brings you another exciting and informative program in shortwave radio. It's more fun in the Philippines. Discover more than 1,001 ways and reasons to visit and enjoy the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. Most exciting and breathtaking places, people, events, and culture that only the Philippines can offer. It's more fun in the Philippines.
Day to all the friends and listeners of Radio Pilipinas. I hope you are all hyped up and ready for adventure because today we are going for a fun on-air ride to Lanao. I am Bea Gaza, your host and your tourist guide for the day. To have a feel of the place, we are going to start by listening to one of Lanao, particularly Lanao del Sur's cultural dance music. This music is usually played for a cultural dance called kakini-kini. Kakini-kini is Maranao women's traditional manner of walking during the earlier times with a slow and graceful swinging of the right hand inside the lamin of Torogan or the house of Sultan. Here is the kakini-kini cultural dance music. cultural dance music called Kakini-Kini. Now we shall introduce you to the people of Lanao. The people from Lanao are called Maranao. Maranao is a word coined from Malay and Lanao or Lake Lanao, which means people living around Lake Lanao. In present days, the Maranao use the word as a general term to refer to Taragat or the people of Lanao who migrated to sea area as well as people who stayed around the lake. They share lineages, culture, breed, and history. Together with the Ilanon and Maguindanao, the Maranao are one of three indigenous Muslim groups native to the island of Mindanao in the southwestern part of the Philippines. This tribal group shares in a generalized Southeast Asian culture but has its own cultural identity. Almost all Maranaos are Muslims, but some groups living in the hills around Lake Lanao are committed to a version of Islam that is fused with traces of pre-Islamic traditions. The spreading of Islam in Mindanao created a differentiation between its native peoples. Those who became Muslim were named Moro, and those who did not are called Lumad. Lake Lanao is in north-central Mindanao and is located at an altitude of 2,300 feet above sea level and can be considered as one of the most beautiful tourist destinations in Mindanao. Now, where is Lanao province? First, we must recognize that the province comprises of Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur. Lanao del Norte occupies the southwestern section of the northern Mindanao region in Mindanao, southern Philippines. It covers a total area of 3,346.57 square kilometers, or 1,292.12 square miles. Lanao del Norte comprises 22 municipalities. On the other hand, Lanao del Sur forms the western portion of northern Mindanao. The landscape is dominated by rolling hills and valleys, placid lakes and rivers. Lanao del Sur comprises 39 municipalities and 1 city. The climate in the province is characterized by even distribution of rainfall throughout the year, without distinct summer season. The province is located outside the typhoon belt. Meanwhile, let us listen to another cultural dance music. Earlier, we introduced to you the Kakini-Kini. This time, you will come to know Kapag-Gapir. Kapag-Gapir is a cultural fan dance performed by Maranao women before playing the kulintang, a Maranao music instrument. Kapag-Gapir shows the skillfully manipulating of the apir or fans, signifying a warm welcome to guests and visitors. Here is the cultural dance music for Kapag-Gapir performed by Kalahi Philippine Folkloric Ensemble. to the cultural dance music for Kapagapir performed by Kalahi Philippine Folkloric Ensemble. Now we will share you the list of go-to places in Lanao Province, Philippines. The first one is Cathedral Falls, located in Waterfalls Village in Kapatagan, Lanao del Norte. This waterfall is popular for its unique and captivating rock formations. It is a 10 to 15 minutes ride from the town proper. It is very accessible as it is just along the access road. You do not need to trek, hike a mountain, or cross a river to see this waterfall. What makes this particular waterfall unique is that its rock wall resembles a pipe organ commonly found in cathedrals. Thus, the name Cathedral Falls. The second one is Pikalawag Beach. This beach is blessed with very fine sand and rich underwater resources. Best time to visit is from November up to summer. It is conducive for picnics and scuba diving. This beach is facing Iliana Bay. Iliana Bay is a large bay of the Moro Gulf off the southwestern coast of Mindanao. The third one is Dapit Alim. Dapit Alim is a place for prayer, contemplation, meditation, and for retreats. It is founded by Father Dong Galenzoga 10 years ago. It is located in between the towns of Colambugan and Tubod, Lanao del Sur. One spot Dapit Alim with its sign along the National Highway traversing across Lanao del Norte, as one is in the vicinity of Timbuco Village. The fourth one is Mighty Cave Park. This is located in the municipality of Tagaloan, Lanao del Norte. It was also known as a solution cave where limestone is the major rock underlying the land surface and was formed million years ago. The park has an estimated 50,000 tons of untouchable bat manure or guano deposits surrounded by the cathedral rocks, corals, springs and waterfalls, and is adjacent to Iligan City. The fifth one is Lidpa Subterranean River. This can be reached by a gradual climb to Munay, Lanao del Norte, where the river bores into a hill and runs underground for about 100 meters. Located 15 kilometers from the National Highway, the point is at the junction of Bacolod National Highway. The sixth one is Lake Lanao. Lake Lanao has a surface area of 340 square kilometers or 130 square miles, making it the largest freshwater lake in Mindanao and the second largest in the entire Philippines. In fact, many visitors have noted that its size makes it look like an ocean instead of a mere lake. It has an impressive biodiversity and is home to several species of crabs, waterfowl, and sarpinid fishes. It has become popular with tourists because of the smattering of attractive and eye-catching mosques around its edges. Though Lake Lanao has suffered from overfishing and pollution in the recent years, its beauty is still highly evident, and it's definitely worth a day's visit. The seventh one is Aga Khan Museum. If you want to learn more about Mindanao's history and culture, the Aga Khan Museum should be on the top of your list. It was developed by Dr. Mantua Saber and was named after Prince Karim Aga Khan IV, whose donation helped construct the museum's building. By visiting the museum, you will get to see traditional Mindanao musical instruments like probing and kulimpang, replicas of the Maranao Royal House called Torogan, and pretty miniatures of moths. You will also see displays that are dedicated to the Moro Wars and view weapons such as single-edged swords called kampilans and brass cannons called lantakans that the early Muslims used in fighting Spanish and American soldiers hundreds of years ago. The eighth is Mount Makaturing. Makaturing is a stratovolcano located in Butig, a town in Lanao del Sur, and it's a part of the central Mindanao arc of volcanoes. With an elevation of around 1,940 meters, it might not be one of the highest peaks in the Philippines, but it's still worth exploring, especially if you are interested in volcanoes or just want to take a refreshing and invigorating hike. Experts can't really confirm exactly how many times Makaturing has erupted, but it's worth noting that it's considered to be a dormant but still highly active volcano. These are just some of the attractions you can check out in Lanao del Sur. Pay these sites a visit to get closer to nature and gain a deeper understanding of the Philippine culture. Before we continue with introducing the different festivities in the place, let us listen to one more cultural dance music for Kat Malo Malonga Batu Nago Bay. This is a men and women dance demonstrating the different styles on how to use and wear the malong. Here is the Kat Malo Malonga cultural dance music. continue, we are now going to present to you the festivities or festivals in the area. First is the Cariala Festival in Wau, Lanao del Sur, which is celebrated every 22nd day of February. Kalilang and Karyala both mean merrymaking and thanksgiving. This is a universal expression of thanksgiving for the triumph, abundance, prosperity, or any form of blessings received. The celebration of this festival are similar to Lami-Lamihan of Lamitan, Basilan, and Meguyaya in Mindanao. Second is the Sagingan Festival. Sagingan Festival is celebrated in Tubod Town, Lanao del Norte during the commemoration of the town's creation, that is every 17th day of October. The celebration highlights the presentation of the different varieties of bananas in Tubod, 52 varieties as of last count. Festival showcases street dancing competition, booth contest, and agro-industrial trade fair. Folk dance competition and sports competition were incorporated to add grandeur to the celebration. Honorable Romana de la Cruz Neri is known as the grandmother of the Sagingan Festival. And the last one is Sagayan Festival. Is a cultural event displaying Maranao dance performed during the Araw ng Lanao del Norte celebration. It is participated by all the municipalities of the province. Sagayan depicts a war dance among the Maranaos. Datu Bantugan is the legendary hero of the Darangin Maranao epic. His name connotes brilliance, fame, and honor, one who makes history. And the program, here's one more music for you folks. The Lanao del Norte hymn. This is to evoke the nationalism in the heart of our listeners, especially the overseas Filipino workers, or OFW. inviting you to come and visit Lanao and discover why it's more fun in Lanao, Philippines.
Welcome to my cradle.
Security threat, and community, thereby endangering the future.
A national threat, declares General Isidro Lapez. These are real numbers.
Good day. Music from the region. This is Gaza, your program host, borrowing the words of Lugo, an American songwriter who said, "Music is the greatest communication in the world." Even if people do not understand the language we are singing in, they still know good music when they hear it. So today, fans, we will let you listen to good music from the country of Brunei. Brunei is a Southeast Asian country located in Borneo, between the states of Sabah and Sarawak, which are part of Malaysia. There is a wide variety of native folk music and dance in the area. Malay, the ethnic group or people who live in Brunei, reflect so much of their customs and tradition through their music. Brunei's music shares cultural perspectives and links with the countries of Southeast Asia, such as Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines. An example of the folk music of Brunei is the Aday-Aday, originated from Kampong Ayer near Brunei Bay. Aday-Aday is a work song that is sung by fishermen while they fish. Clearly, the music depicts the life in Brunei's water villages. It also shows fishing as the main livelihood of people back then. The Aday-Aday song is also a dance song. It was said that when you observe the Aday-Aday dance closely, you could see that one of the movements portray the use of an oar as if mimicking the movement of a person paddling a boat. The idea behind this move could have been inspired by how mobility in the old days depended heavily on paddling boats. The song also speaks of peace between parent and child in a fishing village. The song has a message about an agent or parent trying to get a child to sleep before going fishing to find or sustenance. In public performances of the Aday-Aday these days, male dancers wear the traditional para melayu with a sinjang or traditionally woven cloth wrapped around the waist. Female dancers wear baju kurung and covered their hair with kain batik. Another folk dance is the benari or joget baju putih, performed during numerous festivals. It is usually performed by three women. Now listen to the music Aday-Aday and Benari or Joget Baju Putih. farm out and paying those taxes. The Sultan of Brunei, Hasanal Bolkiah, is one of the world's longest and he remains living is high. The Sultan was born in 1946 and was educated in Manila.